It's been a while since I've shot a video. Unfortunately, it's not because I hadn't tried. It's been, I don't know, a month ago or so, and I had everything ready to roll, getting ready to load up the Spyder, gonna take it up into the mountains and ride up into the Smoky Mountains, and ran across a difficulty. I don't know quite what happened. All of a sudden, though, I was running it at night. I had just cranked it up, backed out of the garage, and it started making just a god-awful noise. And then the radio started making funny sounds. It ended up going into limp mode, and at one point wouldn't move. It was a mess. Fortunately, it did finally correct itself to where it came out of limp mode. I did get it loaded on the trailer. I do like the trailer, and we'll talk about that. Took it to the shop, and they ended up coming up with, it was a yaw rate sensor and also a radio module. Now, had I been thinking about what I was hearing, I'd have told them, don't bother with the radio module. It's the most expensive part, and it ended up costing me about 3 weeks of waiting for that part to come in. So I have been totally stuck. So during this time where I was going to have a really great ride, and it was going to be in the mid to high 70s up in the Smokies, and now it's into the 50s for a lot of you. I know that would be comfortable riding. For me, not there. Anyhow, so got the Spyder back out of the shop today. So while I've got it on the trailer, I figured I'd just take a little time and show how I tie it onto the trailer. I've seen several different people do it different ways. This was one I was comfortable with, and it seemed to make good sense to me. I'm not saying that there's not any number of ways to do it. So I'm sure that you could tie it on several different ways and be good. I'll just show you what I did. Actually, it was one that I don't remember which YouTube that I took it from, that I liked the way that they had done it. So I did copy the way they had done it. Before I get into that, though, I'd like to say thanks for all of you who have made comments, and it's truly been amazing to me how many people had taken the time simply to welcome into the Spyder world, and that gave words of encouragement. And certainly I want to try to follow that. At this point, I've put about 1,300 miles on the bike now. My comfort level is considerably better than where I first started. I'd had someone who had made the comment early on, something about scared, and I think scared was a very good way to phrase it. And some of the things that I read and that I see, I think there are a lot of people out there that are extremely uncomfortable with these bikes to begin with. So I'm gotten much better. Do not claim any high level at this point. I certainly hope to reach that. At this point, not there yet. But for those of you who've taken the time to make comments and subscribe to this channel, I honestly, I do appreciate it, and I've enjoyed reading the comments. Unfortunately, I'm not able to open a lot of those comments. The ones that I can, I respond to. I can see the numbers show up that comments came in, but I'm not able to open a lot of those comments, most of them, as a matter of fact. So I sent text to YouTube about this. I've not heard anything back, and I hope to be able to get there and to be able to respond, because I really do appreciate it when I can read those. And so many of you have a lot of experience, and I certainly want to gain from that. One that stood out to me, that John from John and Miriam took the time to make a comment, and I've got to admit, that just tickled me. That's a video that I do watch, and so to have him take the time to make a comment, I really did appreciate it. So John, if you happen to be watching, thanks. Okay, so I'm gonna take some time now, and we'll take a look at how I've tied on and show you the trailer that I've tied it to. This is an older model Aluma trailer, and I felt so lucky I had stumbled into this. Right after I bought the Spyder, I went looking for a trailer because it's not easy to find a trailer that you can put a Spyder on. The fact that it sits so low makes it that so many trailers, you can't get it up on it. This trailer, and I don't think they make this model anymore, I was able to, it's a, I think maybe a 6-year-old trailer, something in that range. And I thought it was so unique in that the sides, these are your ramps, and so you pull these ramps off, so when you get through with it, and it's fully aluminum, the whole trailer only weighs about 550 pounds, so you can bring it down to where it's a flatbed trailer, other than where your wheel wells come up. And then it's got 3 long ramps, and that's what you need for getting the Spyder up and down, because you've got to get it pretty flattened out to be able to get the angle to get it up. But so what I can do is take these 3, the back one and the 2 front ramps here, and they come off, and then they make a really nice ramp back through here. In the trailer, and how I put it together, and I do apologize to the gentleman that I copied the video, how he did it. I believe he was up in Canada, and he kept talking about the cross, and so I like the idea. What I've done is I've gotten soft ties, and these soft ties I felt like were my best way to protect the bike from the hauling, and it seemed to be the sturdiest place to tie to, and also to where I'm not pulling anything that should mess up the alignment on the bike. So these soft ties, well, you can't about see them here, they're only about 2.5 feet long. Then you tie into these. So then this one ties across to the other side and clamp it down, and same over here. Those ratchet straps can really get it to where pretty darn solid right there. So when you look at it, it makes it to where the bike, it's not going to go up and down very far. It's not going to go backwards because it is really getting some pull on it there. Then, and the trailer does have really good tie downs here. I like these places to mount. Then on the back, I took a ratchet strap, and I probably could have gotten away with one, but I like the idea again of having tension coming from more than one direction on it. So this one I loop through the wheel and come back, hook back here, and then on this other side do the same. Now, absolutely positively, inside the wheel, not inside here. You don't want to put any pressure on anything that's could be damaged. Now with this particular trailer, it worked. It's not the perfect trailer by any means, but it's 64 inches from inside of this fender well to inside of this fender well, and you're roughly 60 inches, I believe, from outside tire on the front. So you got very little room to play with, and when you're on the bike, it's very difficult to see at that point, especially when you're coming up a ramp to get on. So what I've done, and I'll show you this in a bit, is a little redneck, but I've got some boards that I stood up here that were tall enough that I can see those when I'm riding up, and it allows me that if I'm off just a bit, it's going to bump that board before it bumps into the fender well, and that makes it to where the tire is what's going to be doing the bumping instead of the fender, and it's worked real well for me so far. So I'll show you how it works here in just a bit. Okay, I've taken down the 3 long ramps, and so you can see where each tire lines up. I've measured these and measured and measured to try to make sure I was lined up well. Even at that, I ended up having to remeasure some more, but the ramp just lays up in there. You can see my marks that I've set there to where it would fit within those. And then another thing while I'm thinking about it, these dudes they're the real deal, and you can't use just a typical ATV ramp because it'll fold up. It's too much weight on it. These have, I mean, they don't give an inch when it comes up, so they've worked real well. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get things untied, and we'll show you how it works. Before getting ready to go on my trip, I purchased a new GoPro 12 camera. That is what I'm using today. It's the first, if you're hearing this, you know that it turned out okay. Otherwise, I'll do something different and you'll never see this. Okay, you can see where the soft tie connects on there. Velcro is my friend. I'm telling you. Everybody knows about WD-40. I'm telling you, if you got WD-40 and Velcro, you can do about anything. Okay, so here's where the ratchet strap connected to the soft strap. And there's the soft strap. And of course, same on this side. And we're loose on the front. In the back, have to work it around the sprocket just a little bit. Oops, kicked you. And again over here. Okay, we're loose. As I was speaking earlier about the boards, here they are. Basically built a fence, and you can see how we line up, and you can see how tight it gets. So coming off, I have to watch very closely, and without the boards up, I can't see those fender wells. So that's the reason for the boards. You can see how little, little clearance there is. So that's, and if you're not on level ground, it can have an impact on it. You may have to put something under one of the ramps here. In particular, what I've had to do is maybe put a board under the outside ramps so that it lifts it up, so that it will raise this up to where you can make the run up through here. For those of you who watched the tail light installation on the trunk, and I said I was going to do these other lights, well, I did, and I did video, and the video really turned out so poor that I won't put you through that. The things that I've done though, I put the LED headlights in. The fog lights, I ended up sending them back. By the time I got up in there, I was just afraid I was going to mess up more than I was going to fix. The running lights where the reflectors were, I really like them. It concerned me if doing this is what caused the problem that I had, but I had run the thing, geez, I don't know, a couple 100 miles after having put the lights on and didn't have a problem. The tech at the shop said there wasn't a short, so I hopefully didn't create my own monster. But these lights and this, and I can tell you, that's a job. Don't fall for it. I followed the Sling Mods video, and I can tell you what he did in 11 minutes, I took hours and hours and hours. Still proud of my trunk light. Pretty pleased with those lights. And at the same time, it really does concern me if that didn't have something to do with what my problem was. But as you can see, it's pretty darn visible. Well, that's it for today. I'm looking forward to getting the Spyder back out on the road and going to shoot some video from the road. Hope you've enjoyed this, and thanks for watching.